with him to induct him, the commish, Randy Gordon.
Thank you, David. Now, if you look on your program, this is the last induction. Rick Glazer said to me before, am I the walkout bout? I said, no, Rick, they're saving the main event for last. You're going to want to hear Rick Glazer. I mean, I don't know what he's going to say, but when he does say something. I woke up early this morning to a tweet. I do a lot of twittering and tweeting. And Rick Glazer wrote on his Twitter, he said to his mother yesterday, he lives up in the Buffalo area, in Williamsville, New York. And he said to his mother, who had said, hey, can you and Sonia, his wife, can you do something with me? And he said, I can't tomorrow because I'm being inducted into the New York State Hall of Fame. And she said, inducted? Once upon a time you were indicted, now you're being inducted? You've really come a long way in 30 years. Well, he really has. Because Rick Glazer grew up in a tough area and a tough life. And he was walking a fine line between doing the right thing and doing the wrong thing. And somehow he found the right thing. While you and I are sleeping at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, Rick Glazer is up working. You see, he happens to be an international agent, a consultant, and a broker. He keeps fights together. He makes so many matches. Just a couple weeks ago, I announced a fight card where it was falling apart at the seams. If it wasn't for Rick Glazer, there would have been no fight card. And many of the fight cards that you watch on television, from the main event down to the walkout bout, the fights are put together by Rick Glazer. And in the very beginning, he met guys like Mike Avery and Bruce Trempler, Ron Katz, and our own Don Majestic. And they helped him along the way. And he became one of the best in the business. But a few weeks ago, on that card that I announced that he put together, one of the guys who was fighting had just gotten out of a long stretch in prison. And as I was doing the interviews with them to try to get to know who they were before the fight, the guy said to me, I'm going to unify the titles one day. And when I told that to Rick, he said, unify the titles? This guy can't spell unify. Well, let me just tell you the one thing that really stands out about Rick Glazer. In 2016, everybody, and you'll really want to hear this, in 2016, he had been shortly married to the love of his life, to Sonia. He wasn't feeling well, went to the doctor, where he was diagnosed with lymphoma. The doctors told Sonia to get things in order, that your husband is not going to make it. Excuse me? Out of respect for Rick Glazer, he had lymphoma. I think we all know people who've had lymphoma, cancer, they've gone through chemo and everything else. Rick Glazer got through it in his hospital bed where he was hooked up to chemo. His wife, Sonia, said, we just got married, you're not going anywhere. And because of his love for Sonia, because of his love for boxing and his friends and what he does, in his bed he had his computer, he had his files, and he continued to make matches and save the fights that we all watch. And because of that incredible love he had inside of himself for his wife, for boxing, Rick Glazer beat lymphoma, beat cancer, and it is our privilege to be inducting him into the New York State Boxing Hall of Fame today. The man who beat cancer, Rick Blazer.
Coming after Lou Severice, I am the walkout power. I'd like to thank you everyone for being here today. It's both an honor and I'm humbled by everything. Great turnout of people under the consideration of, everybody goes through quote, NFL Sunday, COVID. Thank you everyone for being here. Boxing's been very good to me. I entered boxing for the right reasons. Because I love boxing, I had passion for it. I knew I could succeed at it, and because I needed to make a living. Too many people enter boxing for the wrong reason to get rich. I entered boxing for all the right reasons, and I stand here today before you, honored and humbled, to say that I've done the best I could and have done and continue to do in this sport and business for 30 years. I truly have defined the difference between the sport of boxing and the business of boxing. And as Don Majeski has attested to, we're totally two different things. I have fused the sport and the business of boxing together worldwide for 30 years with the help of, in chronological order, the late promoter Mike Avery, Hall of Fame matchmaker Ryan Katz, Hall of Fame matchmaker Bruce Trampler, and Hall of Fame international agent who sits right before us, Don Majeski. These were the four people that helped me, inspired me to be what I am today. Boxing has great people, it has character, it has bad people, but all together we're family. We're one family. It's about boxing. It's about the fighters. Okay? It's about the fighters. I never jump in the ring. I never parade myself in front of the camera. I'm the guy in the back room making sure the fighter gets the most amount of money, gets paid, gets treated well, the accommodations are right, the airplane tickets don't have 2 or 3 stops around the country. I'm the guy that does all that kind of stuff. All the logistics, and do what I gotta do every day to make sometimes uncomfortable things be as comfortable as I possibly can. I will continue to give everything I've done with boxing and for boxing to continue. I have 2 things I want to accomplish the rest of my life right now. And I'm lucky to be here because my great wife's side. My wife's designer stands right over there. The 2 things I want to do personally, I want to move to Florida, not permanently, just in the winter, and get my wife a beautiful home that she desires and deserves. Professionally, I have a crusade that the New York Boxing Commission culture must change. We had a death of a legendary, iconic boxing figure, a legend in the boxing world throughout the world, Harold Letterman. The New York State Boxing Commission did not send one single person to pay their respects. Furthermore, there's nobody here today that's representing the New York State Boxing Commission. What's the problem, folks? If this was the NFL, do you think that Roger Goodell wouldn't be here? It's ridiculous. Everything that they do, the New York State Boxing Commission, is counterproductive. Mario Cuomo's son, Andrew, is not the governor anymore. The governor comes from my county, okay? And I am going to look to change the culture of boxing in New York State by doing something about it, because the commission is not about boxing, they're about themselves. They're only about the tax dollars, the coaches, the Madison Square Garden, and the Barclays Center. It's not about boxing like politics, it's about grassroots. They don't care about a show in Schenectady. They don't care about a show on Long care about the bright lights that go off. Okay, we haven't had we've had two in my 30 years. We've had two excellent boxing chairmen. Okay, they're both in this room today. Why? I love boxing. They don't care about boxing. It's political. You know what? Boxing's not supposed to be political. People's lives and livelihoods are at stake, and we don't have anybody who works at the boxing commission that has empathy for boxing, and that needs to stop. We have the worst boxing commission in the country of all these states that do major shows, and that's going to stop. We need a real boxing commission. Everybody in here is in some form a boxing enthusiast, and most of us are taxpayers in New York State. And you know what? We need to get out of state senators. I'm going to do my part, and everybody needs to do their part. They need to have an exploratory committee to get started and go after this so-called boxing convention, which is nothing but a bunch of political hacks. I've got no problem with politics. I've done my fair share, but they have no empathy for boxing. To be a boxing commissioner, you have to have empathy for boxing. They have none. And I will do my best to change the culture of boxing in the state of New York. That's what it's all about. It's not about me, folks. I've done my fair share. It's about the future and livelihood and lives. Lives and livelihoods are on the line. Guys like Sam Maurice, guys like Liberatore. You know what, folks? It's about them. It's not about me. It was never about me. Okay? What am I? Okay? I'm a cog in a wheel. Let's all help change the culture of boxing in New York State by uprooting this larcenous boxing commission that we presently have. Thank you, everyone.
Now time to walk out guys to the next house. All right, we're going to do a 50-50, and then Tom Gallagher's going to take over the mic.